Winter, the most introspective season of the year. What do you think of when you think of winter? Is it snowfall? Is it the long evenings, the places by the fire? Is it the warm clothing? Or perhaps a sense of dread? Either way, I think it is one of the most important times of the year for thinking, and I've been doing a lot of that recently. Today, I want to share some of that thinking with you. Now, I want to start today with a very important message, and that is that I respect greatly the value of your time, and I will endeavour to deliver my message today in a succinct and brief manner. Now, I hope you'll permit me two things today. One will be a discussion of my history, and I don't mean my personal history, I mean the history of my channel. And the other thing that I hope to be able to share with you today is my reflections on the current state of affairs and where we go from here. So ostensibly, I would like you to think of today's discussion in terms of three segments: past, present, and future. Like with most things, in order to act well in the present, we must first assess our past. Now, as somebody with a keen interest in history, I feel that it is incredibly important to look back at our past mistakes and try to rectify them, try to fix them, try to do better. And I, for one, will be the first to say that I have made many, many mistakes with my channel and with people and with the factions community. I want to take you back to where things began, and July 2018 would be that period of time in my life. So I had a number of friends at the time that I was regularly playing with, and I had a lot more time on my hands to play than I do even now. And they suggested to me that I should start up a channel and upload some videos, and that's exactly what I did. It started off as literally a thing for some friends to watch some videos, and that's pretty much how it remained for about 18 months. I never promoted my channel in any way. I never sought to grow or expand. And 2020 came, and we all know that the COVID pandemic took hold of the world. Now, that for me was a time of great reflection, because I just qualified as a teacher, and the schools were closing down left, right, and centre, which left me for a while out of a job. And as somebody who values their time greatly, I could not see myself waste that time unnecessarily by being idle. So I started to look to YouTube for some inspiration. So I want to give you a very specific date now, and that is April the 20th, 2020. And this was the date that I allotted to restart my YouTube channel again. So I deleted all my previous videos and I only started uploading and streaming from that date. Now, going into this, I had absolutely no expectations whatsoever, and I genuinely mean that. I really, really didn't set out to reach a particular subscriber goal. I didn't have any particular amount of views for a video in mind. I mean, we're talking at this point of me having 42 subscribers, just 42. So I wasn't really expecting anything from anyone. I think back to how I managed to grow my channel, and the main thing that I put it down to is that ability to make connections. What I mean by that is that I was able, through my presence in the community already, to unlock social doors, so to speak, that wouldn't otherwise have been open to me. And I have been able since then to continue to open those doors and make progress. Now, again, I want to be honest today and say that my growth has been slow and steady. It certainly hasn't been viral or rapid or anything of that sort. It's just been a slow bimble, basically, towards, well, some semblance of a large community. And I will also be the first to say that I haven't always put the most amount of editing effort into my videos. I tend to try and let the raw gameplay or me speaking carry the quality and weight of the video. Now, I fast forward slightly because I have spent a lot of time analysing some of my videos and re-watching some of them as well, particularly ones that were popular. And I wondered always about the YouTube algorithm with regards to factions. But for me, it's never been about the numbers, which is pretty ironic considering I'm called Six, but I can assure you, it for me has never been about the numbers. But more for a personal archive of things that I personally am proud of as a content creator on this channel. And in doing this video, I thought about two videos in particular that I was proud of. And both of them released last year, 2023. The first one was in April, and it was entitled Proclamation, which was my 24-minute Shiv video compilation showcasing all of my skills as a Shiv only player. And part of the reason why I chose that video was because, one, I felt that it really encapsulated everything that I tried to do on the game, and it kind of fits with the mantra and the image that many of you have been kind enough to bestow upon me. And also, I felt that, you know, the length of the video, the editing, it was all very good. And I really enjoyed making it as well, which to me was one of the most important factors too. So that video has gained about 1,000 views up to this point. We're talking February 24 now as I record this video. And again, you know, I don't really care how many views a video gets, as long as I enjoy it and it's always there for people to see, then I'm happy to leave it as it is. The other video that I am particularly proud of is my fracture video. Now, that was a long form monologue video of almost 49 minutes. Now, some of you will know that it is very different to the style of video that I usually do, and I'm not one to make long form videos like that very, very often, but I felt on this occasion it was appropriate to do so. And in that video, having watched it back in preparation for making this one, I felt that the way I'd articulated myself in that particular video, and the tone of it as well, and the deliberate slowness were particularly strong. I also felt that I had said what I wanted to say. And although I couldn't, claim brevity on the video, given that it was 49 minutes, I did feel that it was 49 minutes well spent, if you understand my meaning. And so with these two videos combined, and considering the point at which I'm in now, about 6 to 9 months later, I can't help but feel that in some respects I have reached the zenith. I've reached the very apex of my abilities as a gamer on The Last of Us. I certainly feel that I have dedicated a significant period of my life to this game, and I almost am at a point now where some closure wouldn't be the most unwelcome thing for me. Now, before you jump to any conclusions, please allow me to explain what I mean. So back in April last year, when I did the Fracture video, I spoke at length of some things that I had observed at the time, and a lot of it was very negative, I won't lie, and I gave what I felt was a fair and realistic overview of how I understood the state of factions to be in April 2023. But I also remember ending that video with a call for help, a thing to say, stand and fight, hold the line, like they do in Gladiator, and they say, hold the line, stand with me. Exactly the same thing, because for me, the more of us there are to take on all of them, the easier the job will be. And I still agree with that now. My sentiment hasn't changed 10 months down the line. But what I think has changed is my motivation, my discipline to continue with something that could potentially be futile. Now, the reason I say that is not because I've lost my passion for gaming or streaming. I haven't. But I feel a certain muted sense of purpose at the moment where everything feels like it's on hold. I feel like we're at a point now with this game where we're almost waiting for it to die. And again, that stems from that announcement in December about there being no part 2 for factions. Now, I've already exhausted my discussion around my disappointment at the news, so I shan't dwell on that once more. But I think also my video from last year, my Fracture video, was kind of a warning, and maybe I wasn't the right person to give that warning, I don't know. I felt as a veteran player of a decade that I had a pretty good understanding of the community, of the situation, and of people. And once again, I feel that I have been sidelined, not by anyone in particular, but just by the community who will do its own thing, which I fully respect and understand. But it does leave me questioning whether or not being part of that community is necessarily what I want. Now, again, I don't say that lightly, because this is something that I have dedicated a lot of my time and effort to. And I don't mean in any way to diminish the support or the gratefulness and love that many of you have shown towards myself and the channel. And so it does pain me to say that, there could be, or there will be, an end point at some point, but that end point maybe is looking likely to be sooner, given the life cycle of this game is potentially reduced quite significantly than originally planned. Now, I'd like to think that I'd be here till the end, whenever that end is. But also part of me thinks maybe it's time to make an escape, or it will be time to make an escape before the ship goes under. Now, I also want to be honest and say that I'm considering how my channel progresses in future with the situation as it is, with factions obviously being on the way out. And I know that things haven't always been easy, but then nobody ever said they would be. But I honestly don't know where my channel would go when factions does eventually cease to exist. I won't be deleting my channel, but it may remain dormant for some time. So what's the conclusion to all this thought then? Well, for me, I've been struggling with an internal conflict. And that internal conflict for me is whether or not to keep going. It's whether or not to continue down the path that I have set for myself. And you know what they say, we must innovate in order to prosper. And that is definitely true. But I also am concerned that the time at this point that I'm able to dedicate is not the same as it was previously. And for me, that is a struggle. That is something that I worry about immensely, because I feel that as a content creator, it's my duty to put a certain amount of time per week into my channel, into my videos, into my live streams, everything. So for me, it's been a long but necessary period of reflection. And I was really hoping that I could get your thoughts down in the comment section about what I've said today, and just share a little bit of the history for those new subscribers that have just arrived. So please let me know what you think. If anything I've said has kind of resonated with you regarding the difficulties with factions, the fact that, you know, it is becoming ever more difficult by the day. And to be honest, you know, the fact that a lot of people have left, and there's not many of us left standing. So it's a tough one. But please let me know what you think down in the comments, and I'll be happy to read them, reply, and get back to you. On a side note, before I end the video, I want to just say that we've recently hit 1,500 subscribers. And again, I am really grateful for that, because it means that, you know, people are still coming out here and supporting the stream and the channel and the videos as well. And for that, I cannot thank you enough. So from me to you, it is much appreciated. Okay, so I said at the beginning of this video that I value your time greatly, and that is absolutely the case. So I am going to wrap this up here, and as always, I'd like to say thank you very much for taking the time to listen and respond to today's video. And please take the time to process what I've said before you comment. And I look forward to hearing them, as always. Until next time, watch your six and keep your damn hands off me.
Scratch.
Oh.
Let's return to base.
Oh.